beginning the claim. When Earth joined the Galactic Compact, humanity was not feared. They were tolerated, ranked physically average, technologically creative but inconsistent, emotionally volatile, politically divided. Most species considered them interesting, not dangerous. The Varithi Empire considered them irrelevant. The Varithi were conquerors. Tall, bioluminescent warriors with silver-veined skin and eyes like burning stars. Their fleets had subjugated 2,000 systems over 6 millennia. Their queen ruled not only through strength, but through ancient law older than most civilizations in the Compact. And that law contained one unbreakable tradition. A Varithi queen could claim a mate only once. The claim was sacred. It bonded bloodlines, united armies, prevented civil war. It was never done lightly, and it was never done impulsively, until Queen Zelith saw the human. Marcus Hale had not meant to stand out. He was a systems engineer assigned to the diplomatic delegation orbiting Varith Prime. His job was simple: maintain power grids, calibrate translation arrays, and try not to offend anyone whose species could tear steel with bare hands. He had been walking through the Grand Hall of Sovereigns when the accident happened. A malfunctioning plasma conduit erupted overhead. The Varithi guards scattered, not from fear, but protocol. Plasma bursts were unpredictable. Marcus didn't think. He ran. Not away. Toward the surge. He slid beneath the collapsing arc, grabbed a ceremonial conduit rod from the wall, something he had no idea how to use, and jammed it into the unstable junction, grounding the discharge through his suit's insulated field. The blast hurled him across the chamber. Silence followed. Smoke drifted through beams of violet light. Marcus groaned and sat up, suit scorched, hair singed. And that was when he realized every being in the hall was staring at him, including her. Queen Zelith stood upon her obsidian dais, silver armor etched with ancestral runes. Her presence alone felt gravitational. Her species radiated faint light, but hers shimmered brighter than the rest. She descended the steps slowly. Each footstep echoed. Marcus swallowed. Up close, her eyes weren't just bright. They were evaluating. "You acted," she said, voice resonant, layered, almost harmonic. Marcus winced. Seemed like a bad day to let it explode. A murmur rippled through the chamber. Varithi did not joke in court. The queen stopped in front of him. "You risk death for strangers." Marcus shrugged weakly. "That's kind of the job." Her gaze sharpened. "No," she said softly. "It is not." Then she did something no one expected. She turned to her High Chancellor. "Prepare the rite." The hall erupted. "Middle, the war begins." The right of claim was not a proposal. It was a declaration. Once spoken, it could not be rescinded. When Queen Zelith marked Marcus Hale with the bioluminescent sigil of her house upon his forearm, the galaxy shifted. The symbol burned, not painfully but permanently. Marcus stared at it in stunned disbelief. "I think," he said carefully, "someone should have explained this first." "You are claimed," Zelith replied calmly, "by my will and by law." The Compact Council was not pleased. Within hours, emergency sessions convened across 300 systems. A Varithi queen claiming an off-worlder was unprecedented. Claiming a human? Unthinkable. Varithi generals objected first. Their empire thrived on bloodline alliances. Claiming Marcus shattered centuries of political expectation. Powerful warlords who had positioned their daughters as potential mates saw their influence evaporate overnight. One of them, Warlord Drevos of the Outer Spiral, did more than protest. He declared rebellion. If the Queen dishonors tradition, Drevos broadcast across Varithi space, then she has forfeited the throne. Fleets rallied to his banner. Half the empire fractured within weeks. Marcus watched it unfold from a secure balcony overlooking Vareth Prime's capital. You didn't just start a scandal, he muttered to Zelith. You started a civil war. Her posture remained steady, but her light dimmed slightly. Yes. Why? For the first time, her voice lost its regal distance. Because when you acted, you did not measure cost. You did not calculate advantage. You did not hesitate. She stepped closer. My people understand power, strategy, conquest, but they have forgotten courage without reward. Marcus exhaled slowly. That's not worth a war. It is, she said, if it changes who we become. Before he could respond, alarm sounded. Drivo's fleet had entered orbit. The first bombardment turned night into fire. Marcus stood in the command chamber as Varithi admirals barked orders. Holographic projections displayed enemy ships descending in formation, sleek and lethal. You should be in shelter, Zelith told him. Marcus shook his head. I'm not fragile. Her eyes flickered faintly with something almost like amusement. Very well, Marcus Hale. Then stand with me. The battle began. Varithi's ships were powerful, but Drivo's commanded nearly half their navy. The rebels struck hard, targeting infrastructure, shield generators, communication arrays. Marcus watched shield harmonics fluctuate across the holographic map. Wait, he said suddenly. An admiral glared. Human, this is not. Your shield modulation is static, Marcus cut in. He's predicting your frequency shifts. The admiral hesitated. Zelith turned to Marcus. Explain. Marcus moved to the projection console. You're using adaptive cycling based on traditional Varithi threat matrices. Drivo's trained in those. He knows your rhythm. And your solution? Marcus' fingers danced across alien controls. Randomized modulation through nonlinear algorithmic spikes. Humans use chaotic defense protocols. Unpredictable. Messy. Messy, the admiral scoffed. Effective, Marcus replied. Zelith didn't hesitate. Implement his proposal. The shield shifted. Rebel plasma volleys struck and scattered harmlessly. Confusion rippled through enemy formations. Varithi counterfire surged. Within hours, Drivo's advance stalled. Marcus exhaled shakily. You just saved the capital, an admiral said, stunned. Marcus shrugged. We play different kinds of war. Zelith studied him. Not as a curiosity, not as a symbol, but as an equal. The breaking point. Drivo's adapted. He stopped attacking infrastructure. He targeted Marcus. Intercepted transmissions revealed a bounty, deliver the human alive, and Drivo's would legitimize any claimant to the throne. Assassins infiltrated the capital. 3 attempts were stopped. The 4th reached the inner sanctum. Marcus was alone when the assassin struck. A blade of condensed gravitic force sliced through the chamber doors. Marcus dove as the blade scorched stone behind him. The attacker moved with terrifying precision. You destabilize the Empire, the assassin hissed. Your removal restores order. Marcus grabbed a fallen ceremonial spear, far too heavy for him, and barely blocked another strike. I didn't ask for this, he shouted. But she chose you. The assassin lunged and froze mid-motion. A pulse of radiant energy blasted through the chamber. Queen Zelith stood at the threshold, armor flaring with blinding intensity. You will not touch what is mine, she said, voice no longer layered, but singular raw. The assassin disintegrated in a cascade of silver light. Marcus stared. That was excessive. Her light dimmed slightly. It was necessary. He stood, heart racing. You can't keep escalating like this. I will not yield you. I don't need guarding like a trophy, the words echoed. For a moment, silence stretched. Then Zelith stepped closer. You misunderstand, she said quietly. You are not possession. Then what am I? Her gaze softened, subtly, but unmistakably. You are proof. Of what? That strength is not domination. That choice can defy expectation. That our future need not mirror our past. Marcus swallowed. Outside, orbital fire streaked across the sky. And if that future costs everything? She looked toward the burning horizon. Then we will rebuild it differently. Climax, the final confrontation. Drevos demanded a final engagement. Fleet against fleet. No more assassination. No more political maneuvering. A decisive battle beyond the atmosphere of Vareth Prime. Zelith prepared for war. Marcus stood beside her in the command vessel's bridge. You could stay behind, she said one last time. And let you have all the fun, he replied. Her lips, subtle and luminous, curved faintly. The battle that followed would be recorded for centuries. Rebel ships advanced in spear formation. Loyalist forces countered. Explosions rippled across vacuum in silent brilliance. Drevos' flagship cut through the chaos, targeting the Queen's vessel directly. He's challenging you, Marcus realized. Yes. Then let's answer. Marcus rerouted auxiliary power through the vessel's engines, pushing it beyond standard Varithi tolerances. You'll overload the cores, an officer warned. Only if your design's predictable, Marcus muttered. The Queen's ship accelerated violently, breaking formation patterns Varithi fleets had used for millennia. Drevos hesitated. That hesitation was enough. Zelith fired. A concentrated beam of royal armament energy struck the rebel flagship's shield node, precisely where Marcus had calculated its structural weakness. The shields collapsed. Loyalist ships followed through. Drevos' vessel fractured in cascading light. Rebel transmissions fell silent. The remaining fleet surrendered, ending a different empire. The war ended not with annihilation, but with reform. Zelith did not execute Drevos' surviving supporters. She stripped titles, rewrote succession law, opened Varithi command academies to cross-species study. And for the first time in their history, the right of claim was amended. Choice would no longer be political. It would be personal. Marcus stood beside her during the proclamation, not as a symbol, not as a trophy, but as her partner. Months later, as reconstruction efforts transformed Vareth Prime, Marcus stood again in the grand hall where everything began. No plasma explosions this time, he said. Zelith joined him. My empire has changed, she said softly. So have you. And you, Marcus Hale? He looked at the glowing sigil on his arm. I walked in to fix a power grid. She stepped closer. And now, he said, meeting her luminous gaze, I guess I'm helping redesign an empire. Her hand, warm, radiant, rested against his. The galaxy had expected chaos. Instead, it witnessed evolution. A queen who defied tradition. A human who refused to be small. And a war that did not destroy love, but proved its strength.